Hello everyone, I'm Liza Monet Morales for Everyway Women, where we celebrate everyday women in every way. And this is Open Dialogue. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, Liza.
So this week's topic, I think, is a pretty heated one. I'm just going to go right into it. I'm going to ask the question, why do we have immigration without assimilation? Let it sink in. You guys at home, let it sink in, okay? And let the fights begin. So let me just start off by saying, I think it's interesting because depending who you ask, I kind of feel like this question, even though nothing else is listed, has so many undertone feelings to it and meanings to it, because right away, anytime the word immigration is brought up, people, and tell me if I'm wrong, immediately assume Latinos. And I'm like, okay, when did immigration equal Latinos? Like, it's like all of a sudden the definition of immigration is Latinos. Right. And where I'm like, no, there's Persian people, Canadian people, Irish people, you know, every single day, Russian people that immigrate every day. So I think this is a bigger issue to look at, and I kind of just wanted to put that on the table, and we're not isolating just one particular group.
So should we, is the topic then, should we assimilate?
No, the topic is if we have, and we're allowing obviously people to immigrate, should we then require them to assimilate? Right. Or should we continue what we do now, where we have, you know, bilingual signs, bilingual ballots when you vote, and not just Spanish and Tagalog and, you know, and Farsi and you know, or, and in addition, one thing I know is a big debate, especially in California, is that now all books are required to be in English and Spanish text. Right. Because obviously California has one of the bigger Latino populations. So is that right? Is that wrong?
Well, in Canada we have French and English. It's on everything. I mean, I don't speak a lot of French, but it's there for everybody, and I think that that's, you know, we're looking at, and things are changing there too, but we're looking at the English-speaking and French-speaking population are the most predominant population up there. Coming here as a Canadian, I think it's been difficult. Even though I speak English, I don't think that it's been made very easy even for myself to learn about how things are done. I've had to do that on my own. So I couldn't imagine having a language barrier on top of that, or people who may not want me in the country for whatever reason. So whether we should or shouldn't assimilate it, I think it should just be made, you know, I just think it needs to be made, and if we are assimilating, it needs to be made easier.
Let me ask you this, Kimberly. When you say you didn't know, you don't think it's easier for how things are done, what do you mean by that when you say how things are done? How we live?
Well, there's a huge cultural difference.
What do you mean by that?
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about, is that even the way we say things are different, and there's a little bit of
things, holidays we celebrate that in Canada you don't.
Yeah, and there's just not a lot of, there isn't really like how to be an American handbook. And I mean, I think there is some things that do educate you, but that's from the government. It's not made from you. It's not, you know, I learned from you, but it's not like, oh, hey, you're new here. Maybe because I mix a little bit more.
But no, but let me just jump in there. I think that that's such a great point, because it's the same thing as if you're going to, you know, go to another country. When you land in another foreign country, at least I know when I've traveled, you know, I immediately try to figure out, okay, how can I embrace as much of the culture that they have? But in the back of my head, I know I'm just visiting, right? But I bring what I have to the culture, and I bring my American, you know, culture, my Latin culture, and everything to it. But I start thinking exactly with what you said. There isn't a handbook that tells you the hip way, I should say, maybe to be an American.
Or the slang words, or the...
Because just like in school, you learn like proper textbook French or textbook Spanish. You know, that's really not how you're going to go speak to your friends. You would go and get a book. So I kind of understand her point. I know you're dying to jump in.
I just want you all to consider something. And I hear both of you speaking. I spent 3.5 months in Italy for school. And when I went to Italy to school, there was no signs in Italian and English. So my perspective is with immigration, and I think I'm more following the left, that I'm all for individuals coming over. And you're right, Liza, because where we live, there seems to be more emphasis on Latino. My mother is from Costa Rica. She's an immigrant. English is her second language. My concern, and where I've downright, you know, become offended, is when I go, because this is still America, and that's the point, you make a good point, I don't think people want to know a handbook on how to be an American. That's not what I'm seeing. It's I'm going to come over here and I'm going to live the way I lived over there. If they were trying to become Americans, that's different. That's not what's happening. So,
but let me just interrupt and ask you, how on paper do you describe who's trying to be an American and who isn't? Because and the reason I say that is my grandmother came over here when the border was first built, and the border wasn't built to keep people out. It was built because it was going to be a toll road to kind of help the construction going into Mexico. And she used to have to pay 3 cents when she crossed her little toll, and that was it. They didn't care. They're like, okay, go, come, leave, and you'll be fine. She went to go take, with all her coworkers, she went to go take English classes, and she was trying to learn. But at work, they told her, oh, no, don't worry about it. You know what? We're not going to make it easy for you to take the class. She had a daughter that she had to take care of. If you go to class and you're going to miss it, you have to be here earlier the next day. So every single time that she tried to go do something to better herself, unfortunately, because of the environment that she was, I mean, she didn't come over with a bag full of gold. You know, she had to work. It made it very difficult. So she had to think, okay, do I put my daughter in private school and give her the opportunity to have a better future and have her really fully assimilate? Or do I go try to learn English, possibly get fired, just so that I can say I was trying to learn English?
But my question is, why does she have to choose?
But that's my thing.
To be from Mexico,
Yeah,
and be from the United States. Like,
I completely agree. But going just back to Stacey's point, and this is what I'm just curious to say what you think, is that she tried. But how on paper could you know that she tried versus her next door neighbor who had been here for 30 years and not once ever tried doing anything and really didn't care? Exactly the type of person that you're talking about. So, but on paper, for the government, since the government bases itself on paper, how do you say, oh, well, they're, I guess, okay, they don't fully, because at least they're trying, but no, these people, they didn't try at all, so we should have different rules for them?
No,
so,
I hope that's not the perspective that I'm leaving with you. But I do think when we take all of the stuff behind it, and because I think why it gets clouded is because there seems to be like there's this target against Latinos. No, it's not a target against Latino. That's more prevalent today. I mean, we have to be honest about it. That's what you see in the forefront. But there are a lot of individuals migrating. But when you go to the hospital rooms and the emergency room, Liza, you don't see Russians and Persians. You're going to see Latinos. And so,
well, it depends where you live, because I see
southern part of
I can only, but where I'm at today.
Right.
And so, because I made the statement earlier, yes, I am offended that when I go to the restaurant, when I go to a fast food restaurant, the person on the other side cannot get my order right because they don't speak English. I'm highly offended about that.
And I can say that I completely agree with you.
Okay, so
it's a problem to me whether they're Asian. It's a problem to me whether they're Spanish. But it's equally a problem to me when I call to try to get phone service and get that fixed, and I get transferred to India.
Absolutely,
I mean, so I feel like there's so much going on. But I think it's one thing just important to remember is, this country was based on people being different and being able to hold on to their identities and their culture. And I think it should be a decision based for the person and not necessarily the government. So I think we can all go on for days. I think we're going to have to do a part 2. But ladies,
especially since you talk the most.
Oh my gosh. See, now I'm getting in trouble. I'm ready to my start. But all right, till next time, I'm Leslie Morales, and Open Dialogue is now closed.